I was listening to a couple of Tobias videos. His most recent two. And he was talking about how seductive the Earth realm is. How seductive it is. It's why we keep coming back. I remember Rich 2150X a year or two back, he was talking about how he was telling a story. He was like, it's like this. You and your buddies, you're just flying around, floating around space, floating amongst stars and suns and galaxies, just minding your own business. Nothing too special is happening. There aren't giant wars. It's not crazy emotions up and down. It's just kind of normal. Like, oh, we're flying through space like always. There's some galaxies over there. What do you want to do today? I don't know. Same old shit. Just floating around. But in the back of everybody's minds, they're like, well, that dirty little Earth one over there. That one. We don't like it, but we love it. It's tainted love over there. And everyone else is kind of trying to subconsciously steer the ship away from that area because they know what it is. But the little tendrils are snaking up, whispering in ears, this and that. And eventually the thing just kind of scoots closer and closer and closer, just sidles up, here I am. Haven't gone anywhere. And it's like, well, wouldn't hurt. What could it hurt? Let's have another go at Earth. What could it hurt? And here we are. It's something like that. It's not exactly that. Of course, all stories are approximations, but it's something like that. We are addicted to Earth. We're addicted to the third density. And as addictions go, the problem with addictions is, although they are very secure and comforting on one side, they usually end up killing you. Or in this sense, your soul's gonna get gobbled up by a hobgoblin, or by a monster, or by the parasite, or your spirit will be sullied, tarnished by virtue of going through this thing too many times, by virtue of not actually doing work here when you're supposed to be doing work, by virtue of not actually examining what's going on internally, inside you, and externally. And those are exactly the same fucking thing. So we're addicted to the Earth ship. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a video game. It's like a Rick and Morty prop, It's that one episode where Morty's like, hey Rick, try this. Slaps the helmet on his head, and Morty's a baby, in a world. And then he grows up and he becomes like a furniture salesman or something. And he hates his life. And he gets married and he has a kid and he's dying. And then he dies. It's a whole lifetime goes by. And then he You know, he dies in the video game. He wakes up and Rick's like, oh, you know, you got 25. Not bad. You know, Rick is just laughing, and Morty's like, oh, where's, you know, what's her face? Where's Mabel, or whatever the wife's name was? You know, he's all upset and concerned about it, but then the concern goes away after like 2 seconds because he remembers where he is. Because it's a fucking video game. And I'm not saying this is that trivial, I'm not. Although it is, you can always go to the grand scheme of things, no matter what level or iteration you're in. And you can always see that, well, it's all Maya. All form is Maya. And it's trivial in that aspect. And that's like a trump card you can mentally hold if things are getting too heavy, or you're holding on to stuff too much, or whatever the case. The Maya knowing is literally a trump card for fear. All of these things are tools for us. It's just a matter of whether or not you decide to use them, whether you see, whether your eyes are open, or whether you're just completely sleeping. If you're completely sleeping, then it's almost like nobody's there to watch the dream anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. But if you are here in a body having an experience, then it is helpful to you to know some things. That's all for now. Peace, peoples.